This old car is brought to you by Sonic, America's Drive-In. Sonic, drive-in for a change. Boy, I hope I got my transmission hooked up right. Here we go. Oh, man, time to watch this old car again. Welcome to another episode of This Old Car. Today, we're going to be at the Perfectionist Shop, owned by Danny Watson here in Lubbock, Texas. This guy is really good. I mean, he's like one of the best. The recent classic car show that came through, the Concourse show, he had 9 cars that he had done in that show, and he's going to be placing some sheet metal on our 56 for us. This is what it looks like right now. It's all primered, so we've got our metal protected, and he's going to replace the bad rusted metal, get out the bad metal, and put in the good. All that's coming up, plus more, so stay tuned here on This Old Car. Welcome back, Welcome back to This Old Car. Danny doesn't know what to expect. This is Danny Watson. Danny, thank you so much for being on the show. Danny is going to be doing our sheet metal work for us and taking out a lot of our rust panels and putting in some new good metal for us. So, Danny, and your shop is the Perfectionist Shop.
That's right.
All right, and you're here in Lubbock, Texas. How long have you been here?
Well, I've lived here all my life.
Sorry?
I've lived here all my life.
Oh, I heard you.
yeah, hearing's going, I can see.
I'm just sorry.
But I've had the shop open doing antique car restoration since 1980.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I've owned the shop longer than that, but we've been open to the public doing restoration since 1980.
All right, well, I just stumbled across him by accident, actually. I was sitting there thinking, where am I going to get this metal work done? And I was driving by your alleyway, and I saw a really cherry 57 Chevy station wagon that you guys were loading up on the trailer.
Yeah, the Nomad?
Yeah, the Nomad that you had taken care of and painted, and I saw that, and I said, who did this work? And that's how I met you. So,
yep.
And he's a big fan of the show, right?
Oh, yeah.
Watch it every week, right?
Every week, every time I can.
Never tells a lie. Oh, his nose is growing. Hold on. Anyway, so you see, we've got another rust spot like this on the other side we've already started working on. We'll show you what we're doing there, but first of all, we're going to start from scratch on this side, and Danny's going to kind of like take us through the work that we got to do. So what's the first thing you got to do when someone brings you a piece like this?
Well, we have to assess the damage. What has happened in previous wrecks and previous workmanship. And here what we see, it's got a problem with rust, and where it's been ground through, and they've used dent pullers. So we'll have to get all this Bondo off so that we can see what we have. We have to feel of the panel, find out how bad it's stretched so that we know where to cut up to.
Right.
We don't need to use the full panel that you've got here.
Okay. This is one of the panels that we got from Sherman and Associates, and this is it's a really good panel, but we just want to caution people to thinking that if they get a panel, they're not going to be able to just cut it out and throw it on. I mean, every panel is going to need some kind of work, so this is not really something that you can do unless you got years of experience like Danny does, right?
That's right.
Okay.
But see, we won't need this whole large panel that's going to fit up in here.
Right. The panel they give you obviously is going to have a lot more metal than you're actually going to want to use, because you want to keep as much original metal of the vehicle as possible, right?
That's right.
Okay. So you just cut out what you have to. So the first thing you'll do there is measure where you want and draw it out, right?
That's right.
Okay. Well, let me get this out of your way for you, and you can get started.
Okay, we'll have to get our grinder, grind this out.
Okay. Oh, it's a big grande grinder.
Heavy duty. Get an extension cord.
TOC and a hearty hi-yo silver. Man, that was a little dusty there. Ow! Hey, that's warm.
Yeah.
Okay, so our Bondo's kind of stops right there.
Yeah, but we still have rust holes higher up.
Right, okay. And we'll get dangerous with those. Our contour, we have a slight bit of a wave right here.
We have a dent right here.
Okay, the dents we can get worked out.
Yeah. This is real thin right here.
Yeah, that's where that rust hole is. Okay, so where do you think we're going to have to, somewhere in there? And
looks like right, straight up where you're at. Somewhere like
down across that sand.
Across that.
Okay, yeah, because we got rust all the way there to the corner.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess we'll mark that and cut it. Is that the next step?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Mark it up and cut it up.
Okay, so if we cut along here, we'll save this original metal. We'll save this here.
Yeah, this lip. We can save this lip.
Yeah, because that's hard to...
And save this original shape. You have less chances of anyone even know it's been fixed.
Yeah, that's
if you're doing a show car, you're trying to do that.
Right, exactly.
Let's cut a little bit above it so we're sure we get all the rust out of it. All the thin metal.
Okay, right. Yeah, you've been in the Great American Race how many times?
Twice.
Twice? Did you win anything?
No, we just had a good time.
Just did it for fun. Had a good time.
It's hard to win. You've got serious people out there doing that race.
Yeah.
Very serious people.
It's not like Jed and Jethro Bodine
no,
out
it's
there.
not. You know, they spend a lot.
Hillbilly's car.
People spend a lot of money on training. You got Phil Hill. He was a race car driver. Everything. He's down South Texas and spends a lot of money on his old cars and trying to perfect his racing style. They're very serious about their racing.
What are you doing here? This is just a...
This is a guide, so we can cut a good straight line.
Okay, just so nobody thinks we're setting it up for a wheelchair for people.
It's hard to do it on this curve.
Right.
We'll have to just freehand it, but every straight line we can cut, the easier it is to put the panel back.
Tack in a little angle iron so you get straight cut. We're learning tricks of the trade here. Danny's secret tips will all be available on video cassette. Make it look so easy.
With a plasma cutter it is.
Yeah. I can take that back off. Woo!
Comes right off. And all we have is two little spots to
just grind them down?
Clean them, polish them off.
Okay. What about the other way though?
The other way I'm going to have to cut freehand.
Okay.
Cut down. This one I can set up and cut it straight. See, it left a nice straight line up on the top. Here's a spot where the plasma cutter, I might have had a little piece of trash on it that caused it to flutter, and that's what happened.
But it's on the metal we're cutting out.
It's on the metal we're cutting out anyway, so that's all right.
No biggie. Okay.
Now we'll tack our piece of angle iron down here on the bottom. Get it set up. Well, that'll work. So you don't want to tack real hard. You don't want a lot of welding, because if you do, you'll distort your metal when you pull it off. You'll pull a blister out.
Right, so just real low heat.
So low heat, just the minimal amount it takes to hold it on, the better off you are. Now I'll freehand it down this way.
Okay.
You ready for that?
Ready. Ready when you are. See it pop
stresses in there? Yeah, all the strain.
Stress in there, boy.
Yeah, we'll have to clean up our edges a little bit. It didn't cut quite as clean as we'd like, but that's all right. Little grinder will fix that. Oh, here's part of our problem, fiberglass.
Repair. That's what it was.
Hidden on the back side. And when you hit that with the plasma cutter in the air and you hit rubber, it causes the fire to blow back and it blows your arc out.
We're not finding anything hidden in there. Like we did on the other side. On the other side we found this straw. Melted on both ends. We don't know how old this straw is. Or this straw is like missing evidence in some secret 1956 court case or something like that. We don't know, but we will send it to forensics and have it examined. Feel good?
Yeah. It took a lot of that wave out. It still protrudes out right here and in there, but yeah, a little bit. But what I'll do, I'll come in here and clean up our tacks, get those out of the way, clean up these edges, and then we'll start working our panel to fit in the hole.
Okay. Danny's got the old metal. Pretty much, explain why you ground this down here? That you're getting ready to weld in a new panel.
Okay, with a wire welder, you have to have a real clean surface, and when you've got a primer on the surface as tough as this is, whatever you put on here.
This is a BASF Limco epoxy primer.
Epoxy
really
primer.
Good sticky stuff.
Yeah, when it's tough epoxy like that, it's real hard to strike an arc through it and to get a good weld. So I had to clean the primer back so that we can get a good weld as we start tacking it on.
Okay, and here's the just the piece of patch panel is all you used, and it seems a shame to cut up that good patch panel. Just use this piece.
It happens.
And keeping the original metal is what we want to do, and you've already fixed this in. Now I noticed you took away your little trick. You didn't want to give away your shop secret, but I want to show it to people, so if you don't mind.
It's easy to do.
When you're trying to fix these panels, folks, this is how Danny does it. It took me by surprise. I thought, what a great idea. Just use magnets. Put it up against your old metal. Fit your new metal right in there, and it holds it in place. So you line up, so you cut it just perfect. Well, you have to do that anyway to tack it in, right?
Oh, I can hold it by hand. Can you use the magnets?
One of his trade secrets he didn't want to give away.
Oh, it was in the way.
Of course, you got to go out and find these big magnets too.
Yeah, you got to find good, strong magnets to start holding all this in place. Then you can come back and.
All right, you come back in that way. You shape your new metal perfect to fit your old body pin. Okay, so you're ready to tack.
Start tagging it in.
Okay, so I'll move out of the way, and you can tack that in. Then we'll finish tacking. Then we're going to grind it down and smooth it in, right?
Yep.
Good. What type of heat are you going to use on metal like this?
You use a low temperature so that you don't warp it. You get your setting to where it will give penetration to both pieces of metal.
Okay.
And get a good solid bite. I generally tack with a higher heat than I weld with.
All right.
Because you're trying to get the penetration and get it to melt. And you don't have the heat that builds up in the metal.
And you told me earlier that you tack a little here, then you move along, tack a little, move along, tack a little. That way it never heats up the metal to where it warps while you're tacking it in. Right?
First what we have to do is get it tacked into position.
Right.
Then we start going around it and placing tacks in between and start shrinking all the tacks. So you get...
Connecting the dots.
Connect the dots, make it
Okay.
smaller.
I love those too, even today. When we go to restaurants and stuff like that, they give you that connect the dot thing, and except that stuff at Garsky's Loft, I still don't know what that thing was supposed to be. My kid probably figured it out though.
Kids are smarter than us.
Yeah, they are. Okay, well, we'll let you get to work there. Get tacky.
Double check my fit. You have to look and make sure you got all your places like you want it, because once you start tacking, you pull it off, you'll ruin your panel.
Right.
So you want to keep double checking. After you put your first tack on, you'll come back and double check. So find another good place that fits real well.
This also helps shape the metal too, back to its original form.
Yes. See how this is pulled in now? It's stepped in. We'll have to kind of work it around to where it'll has a good, nice butt fit.
Yeah, your butt weld.
Yes.
Okay. So people don't think we're getting vulgar. Just kind of explain what that is too, real quick.
Where the two pieces of metal will join end to end,
Right.
rather than a step weld where it will come along, drop down, and have a step, and you'll lay your other.
Metal, it means more metal to fill, and then you got more bondo
Yes.
that's gonna have to go on there too, right?
Well, you'll lay your other piece of metal up on here, but the reason I don't care for doing that is this part right in here, because the gas is a natural oxidizer. It will always set up rust, and it's real hard to kill.
Right, and that's what we're trying to do anyway right now, is kill the rust.
That's right. And it gives a place for moisture to hide.
Right.
And without the lap, you don't have moisture place for moisture to hide.
Makes sense to me.
So that's the way I'd rather do it. Plus, if you're wanting to be able to finish your panel off on the backside, say it's a fender that on an old Model A or a Packard or something like that, that you need the backside to be smooth, you can't weld a lap weld. You have to have a butt weld so that you can finish off the backside just as smooth as the front side.
What he's doing right now is Danny's chalking a piece of wood to pull that metal out right there on top. Try and take that little wave out that we got in there. But you can see the difference right here. This is our old piece of metal. There's our new piece. I mean, that's what it used to look like, and that's what it's taking shape as right now. Before he welds up top here and starts beating it in, he's gonna put some wood blocks back behind here to give it its original contour. So when he welds it in, it'll help hold the shape.
That pulled out better than I thought it was going to. It's got pretty good. There's still kind of a line up here, but after I weld this in, I think maybe we can bump it from the inside and get this. This is the booger spot right here.
Yeah.
That's one of those deals that you really don't know till you start putting the panel back in. I kind of wish we'd have gone a little further in. Over here, maybe.
Well, we can pound that out.
But it'll stretch. It'll.
All right, now it's all welded in and ready to grind. So you just got to grind it down smooth, and then we can flow it in later, right?
Yeah, we'll grind it down and work. You naturally get some distortion. We'll grind it down that way it's smooth, and then we can work our metal around and get it to follow the contour of the body.
Contour. Okay. Last step, I guess.
All right.
Next to last step.
Getting close.
Well, then we still have to flow it in and then prime it. So we got about 5 the last steps. This tedious work, more tedious than most people realize, isn't it?
It is. Takes a lot of time.
Yeah, a lot of time. There's a lot of hours of labor involved.
A lot of prep time.
Grind away, my friend. Unfortunately, we're out of time for this segment of the show, and we've gotten a lot of valuable information. And the reason we wanted to show you so much of what's involved here is for you people who got cars out there that you're going to have work like this done. You want to make sure you take to somebody who knows what they're doing. So if you've watched this show and take notes, you know, when they go to talk to somebody, and they'll go like, "Oh yeah, we can do that. It takes about an hour." Yeah, you're at the wrong place.
A little more time than that.
Yeah, so Dan's got some more work to do on this, and but unfortunately we're out of time. But if you have any work like this that you need done, then please contact Danny Watson here at the Perfectionist Shop, and we'll put your name and number up right here on the screen. There it is. It's there on the screen. It's the Perfectionist Shop is 762-3367, right?
That's correct.
And right here in Lubbock, Texas. The best place to go. The guy's got concourse cars that he's done. I mean, so thank you so much for doing this work for us, and thanks for being in here. We'll see you next week on This Old Car.